Hello and welcome to the Through the Pain podcast. This is a place for chronic pain and chronic illness warriors to dare, dance, and dream through the pain. Hello, everyone, and thank you for another edition of the Through the Pain podcast. Today, I have another fantastic warrior with me. Her name is Sarai, and she represents the Latin community. And I just wanted to have her on because the Latin community is barely represented in terms of sickle cell disease. So I'm just going to have you introduce yourself. Welcome, Sarai, to the Through the Pain podcast.
Welcome. My name is Sarai Santiago. I have sickle cell SS. I work with Sickle Cell Thalassemia Patients Network as a community health worker and outreach. Also, I do research, volunteer in Montefiore, Jacoby, North Central together based on the New Birth Screening Project. And basically, also, I won Miss Youth Queen of Ponce, Puerto Rico 2019 from the Brooklyn Puerto Rican Day Parade. Director Miss Lillian Roman and Sonia Velasquez. So basically, I give thanks and privilege and honor to be part of this podcast.
Thank you. You have a lengthy resume, and I'm just, as someone that's young as yourself, that's
Yeah,
in the community, to have such a tremendous resume, I'm proud of you. From
thank
another
you.
warrior to
Thank you.
another, I am so proud of you. So let's go back. I always ask our warriors that come on, can you tell me a little bit about your sickle cell journey?
My sickle cell journey as young, I was diagnosed at that as newborn here in 1987. I was born October 18, 1987. And basically wasn't that a good journey, but in between was good or bad. When I was a kid, I had my first crisis at age of 8 because of water and so much more. And with the newborn screening, like they found out from my parents that I have sickle cell SS. And because of my parents have the trait due to the ancestors of, I think it's my father's side of the family, his father has it because I met cousins from that side of the family. They all have the trait. And basically, I'm still doing the genealogy of my family to find out who has sickle cell in that side of the family of my father's. And my mother's side too all have the trait too. So it's kind of like, we didn't wasn't educated about it because back in those days they didn't even speak about sickle cell much in Puerto Rico and so on. Yeah, the African ancestry in us. And age of 5, I've been missing school a lot of days because I had pain. I get a lot of fevers, I get sick a lot, and then they was gonna penalize my absence back in school because, and then discharge me because of my sickle cell. So basically, my mom had to fight my education due to sickle cell. And also, I was back in school. And then when I was 7, I was hospitalized more with high fever and so much more with sickle cell. Because I've been having my days that I don't want to be in school, I don't want to learn because of my sickle cell. And then when I was like 9 years old, I was operated from the spleen and I have to be homeschooled for a couple of months. And then until they discharged me again, and then they put me back in school. So basically, with sickle cell and education was not blended well my younger years elementary school. So basically, when they introduced me to hydroxyurea in 1998, I've been missing less days of school. I was in the 5th grade, missing less days of school. Junior high, it went okay. Kids tease me because I have jaundice in my eyes and so much more. And then my parents have to explain to me the illness, why I have to drink water all the time.
Mm.
Especially, I traveled to Puerto Rico when I was a kid. Thank goodness for my uncle. He educated a lot with my mom based on my illness. So, basically over there in Puerto Rico, I had low jaundice. I had to drink a lot of water, especially relatives have to give me mad water. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. And then I didn't like eating, so I just like to eat oatmeal all the time. And, I guess it was depression that time that I didn't want to be in the island. So basically, middle school, it went okay. Yeah, I had crises that time too. High school was the worst too, because I didn't want anybody to know I have sickle cell. So I just want to be like a regular child. So high school, I had to learn how to advocate myself and everything due to the IEP and so much more. So back in middle school and in elementary school, I had a learning disability. Basically, due to sickle cell and everything was happening, I need extra help to do things. And especially in high school, to take the state exams, I need extra time to take it. I need extra time to read and also read to me also. And I passed all my state exams. That was a good thing, and graduated high school with 80s. I was in the honor roll that time because I was a smart kid. And basically my sickle cell journey wasn't easy in high school either. I've been getting sick a lot. And I have to explain to teachers, my mom has to explain to the teachers that I have sickle cell. And so that way they'll give me extra time to do my tests and homework and so much more. So I catched up. I did what I do. Then when I went to college, I started college at 21. It wasn't easy either with sickle cell, especially doing finals, doing tests, and so much more. It wasn't an easy journey. And I was in the hospital again because in the college I went to, they only allowed 5 absence.
Mhm.
5. And I told the deans that I have sickle cell and everything. So I had to repeat one of my remedial classes again. I had to repeat another class again, and because of my absence and all other, and I said, listen, I have to drop a class too because I couldn't handle because due to my sickle cell. And I graduated my associates in 2010. I went to the bachelor's program in 2012, and it was tougher too. So basically the professors don't understand I have sickle cell either. So it was like a hard time to understand, and the dean too. So after that, I missed 5 days of classes, and I explained to the dean I have sickle cell. I'm in and out the hospital. And basically we didn't know about the Office of Disabilities back in high school, in college. So I
Yeah.
didn't know about that. So it's good that we have to tell these young people to be oriented about the Offices of Disability. So in case they ran into a problem or anything with their academics, that the Office of Disability is there. So basically, I passed my bachelor's and I was in the honor too, and I graduated with my bachelor's, but I didn't graduate with honors because I was missing a point left because I was sick a lot. So it was a good thing I graduated in 2012 with my bachelor's. I started to volunteer with Mark Goodwin with Bronx Care Hospital, doing the support groups and everything until 2016. I started with SCN, Sickle Cell Thalassemia Patients Network, doing the trainings of community health worker and working in the field and so much more until present, today's day.
So what was it that gave you that spark to continue to actually work in the sickle cell field?
I mean, basically, after college, I didn't, it was hard to find jobs. It was hard to find a lot of things because due to my sickle cell, and some jobs had to let me go because of that. I guess in 2010, I started 10 years ago working with the kids with sickle cell. I told Mr. Goodwin, I said, I want to work with kids because you know what? Kids are the future. So basically, it was a spark for me because I didn't have everything growing up back then with sickle cell and everything. So I just want to do is give back to the kids.
Mm, that's dope. So the one of the reasons why I had you on here was because I feel that sickle cell, it's a huge disease. People keep calling it a rare disease, which is not, and it affects people of many diasporas, including the Latin community. And you are probably, maybe excuse my ignorance, but you are the only Afro-Latina that I see going out so hard about sickle cell disease. Do Now, am I just ignorant, or is that your
Yeah.
version of things? Did you see that as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
So let me ask, why do you think that is? Why do you think you're probably like the only Afro-Latina going hard out here in the paint for sickle cell disease?
The reason why is because we don't want the people in the diaspora to suffer what I went through when I was young. And basically, I want to help other people in the diaspora
Mhm.
to know that they're not alone. And, I understand I met a lot of people in the Honduran community and in the Dominican community, the Afro-Dominican community, and so much more because back in when we was in Puerto Rico, which is I had clients coming up to me and say, "Oh, because the medications take forever in the island, you got to go across the town, another town," and I was like, "Oh wow!" And then in Dominican, because there's lack of care in Puerto Rico, so basically, I be hearing a parent told me that, and I was like, the hydroxyurea cannot, they not there on time, or they don't prescribe it over there, essentially Andari, they don't prescribe it over there and they got to go to another town to get medications. And I was like, oh, wow, it's a lot. And in the Dominican Republic, it was not a lot of care. And I said, we need to do something about it. And especially parents that don't communicate well in English, and I communicate them in Spanish and educate them on medications with Andari, with most of the new medications are out to make sure that their child get the best care they need
Mm.
because I didn't have no one advocate for me when I was young because my mom and I we had to do it on our own.
Right.
And we try to avoid these young people like before they transition to the adult clinic, like, we're gonna help every step of the way. Even day 12, I said we're gonna help you the step we can help you because when you turn 21, that's it. You're on your own. So I go hard in the community because yes, I be around health fairs, I be around so many, even in the parades too, we advocated too. And I say, hey, we need to be listened out because they hear cancer, HIV, all these other things. But what about sickle cell?
Right.
The Latinos are suffering.
Right.
Our people is suffering. And cancer and HIV and everything, they got their own stuff. Even they had Dunkin' Donuts and everything, but not sickle cell. And I was like, that is sad right there.
Right. I completely agree with you. I just wish more people of all diasporas would go as hard as you do to represent the community. I think we would be a lot further along if we joined together in the fight for sickle cell disease. So, excuse me. I'm gonna edit that out. Me coughing and hacking. So the last reason why I brought you on here is because I want to honor you in true form and the through the pain form, how we honor you. We got some merch and I want to commemorate your honor by creating your own shirt. And because you represent through the pain and you're such a great representation, I want to create a shirt called Represent Through the Pain. And when this podcast airs, the shirt will be available on our website, throughthepain.org. So I
Yes.
think you go hard in the paint and I want to honor you. And I'm so proud of everything that you're doing in the community. And you are like
Thank
proud,
you.
you're so proud about being, a representation of our community. And it's a beautiful thing to see. So thank you so much for
You're
everything that
welcome.
you do. Before we end, is there anything else that you want to leave for the Through the Pain listeners? Anything you want to say? Tell us your social media handles, how they can follow you. All
Oh,
that
they
great
can
stuff.
follow me on my personal page, Facebook, Sarai Santiago, Instagram, Queen Sarai 1987, the year I was born. And, that's all they can follow me on. Let me see if I got that correct, because sometimes, we change our Instagram names, we change
Yeah.
everything, and, because of hackers and all that going on. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm right. Queen Sarai 1987. Let them follow me there. I have a lot of things there, and basically the parades are coming back in June, and hopefully, we're gonna be on the float with my godfather and the angel the Salsa Candelo. So I want to invite you to come join the float with me.
Hey, give me the day. I'll put it in my calendar. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for that. So I want to invite
Yeah.
you, and I said, hey, I'm gonna tell my godfather. I have a couple of people I'm gonna invite to be on the float, but I don't know how many because of COVID.
Yep.
We don't want to extend it, and
Got it.
exactly, and also for Brooklyn and Latinos Unidos. I don't know if I'm marching in that one because I'm trying to take a setback break on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so New York City, the parades are coming back again. So stay tuned, everybody. If y'all wanna know about the Puerto Rican Day Parade, we'll give you more details as we go along.
And I will leave those details in our show notes. Thank you, Sarai, for joining us. You are the queen. Keep representing through the pain. And thank you to the listeners for joining us for another great episode of the Through the Pain podcast. Take care. For tools, merchandise, and additional information, log on to our website, www.throughthepain.org. This has been a Public Praise Media production.